Hey everyone, how is everyone doing today? I hope they're having an absolutely glorious day. I am so stoked to have this little Tower 28 little cutie here to try out today. This is their new SPF foundation hybrid product, and that is how they describe it. It came with a very long list of descriptors, and it describes it as a 2-in-1 sunscreen foundation hybrid. The sunscreen ingredient is zinc oxide, or I should say non-nano zinc oxide. I have no idea what that means. Apparently it's better than just regular zinc oxide. It is not supposed to give you any sort of a gray cast or a white cast, whatever your skin tone is. And they came out with a really nice array. I can get this open. Look at all the shades. And in the information, it said they actually started with the deep shades first to make sure they got those right before they even started working on other shades. So I thought that was awesome to make sure that it didn't have any white cast on anyone. So it's supposed to have light to medium, buildable coverage, 14 flexible shades, and it's supposed to have a natural finish, so not too dewy, not too matte, and of course, again, with the no white cast. And it's specifically designed for problem or sensitive skin, and it actually has the stamp of approval from the National Eczema Association. I've never seen anything like that on any sort of a foundation or sunscreen product, which they say they are the first ones to get that approval, which is very exciting to me. I don't have eczema, but I do have very acne-prone skin. Foundation is the worst offender for me for making my skin break out. So I have very high hopes for this one. I ordered the shade number 10, Larchmont, which is supposed to be light with yellow undertones. So I don't remember if I said the SPF is broad spectrum, UVA, UVB. It also has visible light protection, including blue light, and it has soothing ingredients for UV stressed skin, including things like prickly pear, white sage, and aloe vera. But it is free of the nasties like coconut oil, fragrance, and alcohol. Ooh, and it's also vegan and cruelty-free. Okay, let's get to trying this out. I'm gonna try it with my fingers on one side and with a damp beauty blender on the other side. They say you can use it with a brush, with a stippling brush, with a blender, with your fingers, whatever you prefer. So I'm gonna try it a couple of different ways today. Now I'm gonna be honest, if I was using this just for sunscreen, I guess I'm not sure how I feel about that, because for sunscreen to be truly effective, you have to use quite a bit. So I guess I'm more interested in this as like the skin tint product of this with just like the added boost of the SPF 30, if you know what I mean. I don't know if I'd want to put on enough of this to count as an actual sunscreen. Please don't mind that. I must have like swiped my headband with like an eyeshadow brush or something. I can't imagine what else that is. Fingers first. I have no idea how much to use. I'm gonna start with like that much, I guess. It might be a bit much. And we'll see how I did with the shade. Yeah, I think I got a bit much. We're gonna spread it out. Okay, the shade is looking decent. I did spread it out a little bit over here since I put so much on, but it's looking pretty nice. Let's do the other side with the beauty blender. I'm gonna use less this time, perhaps that much. Just going to dot it on. And if you're new here to my channel, I do just film on my phone. So oftentimes I don't know why, but the settings of whatever it is, like I'm just not a techie person, but I always look so much more glowy on camera than I am in real life. So if you're thinking, holy cow, that is a very dewy product, just know that it is a bit shiny, but not as much as it is here on camera. And I'm just taking the beauty blender onto this side just to clean up a little bit since I got it a little bit heavy right there. I didn't mean to do that, but it just happened while I was talking. I really shouldn't talk while doing this. Okay, let's inspect. I think I could use a little bit more around my nose. And maybe on my chin just a little bit more. But otherwise, actually, I think the coverage is nice. Obviously, you saw how much I used, especially at first. I used a bit much. Oh my, I think it's pretty. It's really pretty. Even though I did get the one with the yellow undertone, which I was so concerned that it would be too yellow. I don't think it's too yellow. I do have like neutral leaning slightly warm, which is why I got the warm one. The next shade up looked a little too deep for me, so I'm kind of glad I got this one. So far, it looks like it has melded in super, super nicely into the skin. My skin looks nice and hydrated, but it doesn't look greasy. I know it may be hard to believe me from what you're seeing, but I don't look greasy. I just look nice and hydrated. I do feel like it did some nice just color correcting where I had a little bit of redness here. Around my nose, I still have a little bit of redness poking through, but you know, that's kind of normal. I don't like to apply a super, super heavy layer to cover up every itty bitty little blemish or redness. So I actually wouldn't call this sheer coverage. It's definitely buildable. I don't feel like it's highlighting texture. It just looks really, really pretty. Okay, I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup. I'm not going to powder, however. I just really want to get a good look at how it sits on the skin throughout the day, so I'm not gonna do any sort of powdering. I'll be right back with my finished makeup. Okay, rest of my makeup is done. I am here for some final thoughts. So I went back on my original idea about adding no powder. A lot of times when I first put something on, it can look really dewy, and then as it kind of settles into the skin, it's not quite so dewy. I felt like this became a little bit more dewy as I continued, perhaps just mixing with the natural oils on my face. So I did just powder in my T-zone, especially since I did go in with my Glossier Stretch Concealer under my eyes and around my nose to even out a little bit of the redness that was still there. This is also a very, you know, emollient, dewy product, so I did use some powder, like I said, just in the T-zone. I really felt like all the products I put on top of it went on well. I used a powder bronzer. I felt like it went on nice. I didn't do any catching on anything. I used a cream blush. I felt like it all blended out beautifully. Nothing started looking weird or lifting up funny. It's just a very, I think it's a hit, which makes me so happy. This is $30, which is more than I typically spend on a foundation or an SPF, so I'm really happy to find that I like this. Again, I don't feel like I would rely on just this for SPF because of the amount you would have to put on. Over on this section where I initially put on a little bit too much, I did feel like I got a tiny bit of settling in this smile line right here. It was fine, I just tapped it out, but I think that's just because I initially put too much right there. I think it's a beautiful everyday product. I feel like you're especially gonna like this if you like a little bit more of a dewy look. I wouldn't say it's very, very dewy, but it's definitely not matte. Okay, trying to get a better view for you guys of how the finish looks to me in real life. So I feel like this is much more like it. So you can see not nearly as glowy as it was showing in my video. And I just went and asked my husband, how does my skin look? And he's like, satin, not matte, not shiny. And I was like, perfect, thank you. So anyway, hopefully that is helpful for you guys. Also, I believe I forgot to mention how much I love the applicator on it. It reminds me of the Flower Beauty blush bombs. It makes it really easy to squeeze out just the amount that you want. It's better than just a regular squeezy tube, and it's a great detail. I'm so glad they put it on there. The real test will be using this several days in a row to see if it makes me break out, which I'm very, very hopeful that it will not. I will have to update you guys on that. Usually it does take at least a couple of days of wearing it to see how it goes. I think in the future I'm going to stick to applying it with a sponge. I felt like I didn't like how runny it was in between my fingers. I feel like when a product is very runny and you apply it like this, it gets between your fingers all funny, and I really for some reason hate that. So I had to like go wash my hands after I applied it just because I didn't like that feeling of having product between my fingers. And applying it with a sponge, I didn't feel like it made it sheer out too much. In fact, I feel like the coverage on this side is the same as that side. Again, I will update you guys in the future as to how it wears, but based on first impressions, I am very happy with my purchase. I'm such a fan of this brand for being such a stickler on ingredients that will work for sensitive skin. I love that. If you just heard my little ding, that was my washing machine turning off. You know what? I was so excited to talk to you guys about that product that I did not tell you the tea of the day. By the way, if you're new here, I always have a tea of the day at the beginning, and I apparently was so excited I forgot to tell you. Well, this morning I had to take my daughter to the dentist, and since I was in town, I stopped at Starbucks and had to get my usual matcha latte. Not very exciting tea of the day, but this is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all of your support. If you decided to try out this product, let me know. What did you think? And again, just thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.